Hi Norman, it's Elliot Antoby, reporting live for week 3 predictions for YMSL. Matchup number 1, we got the Shake and Bake versus Hipsters, which I think is going to be a phenomenal, very interesting matchup. I mean, it really comes down to an offense versus defense at the end of the day. I mean, you have Shake and Bake led by Nabi with Jigga behind the plate, who they say Jigga is the best catcher in the league, leading, always makes his pitchers better. Shout out to you, Jigga. Only allowing 9 runs the entire year. But on the other hand, you have these Hipsters who have just been explosive on offense, having the most runs on the year with 32 runs. And I don't know, I think it's at the end of the day, it's going to come down to an offense versus defense type of thing. The Shake and Bake offense has been pretty soft. I mean, it's been solid. They come up clutch whenever they need to. The question is, can Eddie Harari do his job? And the question is, could Farka, Abe Cohen, and Ali continue to do what they've been doing versus Nabi? I think it's going to be a very competitive game. I predict a split on that.
Hey guys, recording this prediction from 35,000 feet in the air. Shake and Bake versus the Hipsters, 2 great teams off to good starts. Great pitching matchup again. Nabi's been out of this world so far. Eddie Harari has been to a, up and down start. Hipsters have looked great in a couple of games and have looked okay in a couple of games. I think Shake and Bake is really riding some nice momentum. Zach Ashkenazi, congratulations. He made the Maccabi team and will be playing in Argentina in December for Team USA. It's great news. Hope to be playing alongside you if I can get back in time. I see a split. I see a hard split. I like the offense that the Hipsters have, and I think that they'll be able to get a couple of runs off of Nabi and probably steal a game.
Next matchup is going to be Biblical versus the Pickles, Portland Pickles. I mean, Portland Pickles have not looked good at all. MC, I caught up with him in shul last week. He was really excited to get out on the mound. He was telling me his over/under for strikeouts was 5.5. I mean, the guy can't throw the ball over the plate game 1. I'm not even sure how many walks he's allowed, but I love you, MC, but stick to the outfield, even shortstop. I don't know if you can handle the YMSL offense. I predict it's going to be Biblical sweep. I think Marty, JT, TI, they're all going to step up and they're going to find those weak spots. They're going to get loud. They're going to get into MC's head, and I can't see the Pickles winning a game versus them.
It's going to be Biblical versus the Pickles. 2 teams that I think are fighting for their lives. I think it's going to be Biblical. Has been lucky to get to a 2-2 start. Alan Jamal has 1 hit in 2 weeks and really needs to get things going if he's going to stay at the top of the order. JT, we're looking at you to have a big bounce back week. Marty needs to also, step things up. I think he had a rough week 1 and not such a better week 2. We know the type of player he is, and I think that, it's time to put up or shut up this week for It's Biblical. The Pickles as well, I think this was an outcome that they didn't want to see. They wanted to get off to a fast start, and they haven't. Since the first 5 innings of the first game, it looks like they've come down to earth and kind of proven the predictors right with this whole mess of who's going to be on the mound, the uncertainty. But they have a lot of talent on this team, and I think that this is a good matchup for them. I don't think that it's going to be Biblical really has the ability to bury a team like the Pickles, and I see another split.
Matchup number 3, the Black Sox versus the Beast Mode. I mean, unless the Black Sox make some type of changes. I mean, I know Jeff Saka threw a shutout in Game 2 last week, but beast mode with Hank, Stephen Gindy. I predict another sweep on that. That's going to be a messy game in my opinion. I don't know. I can't see the Black Sox winning either.
Black Sox and beast mode. Hearing some rumblings about the health of Stephen Gindy, and that's going to be a huge part of this matchup. You know, I kind of liked the fight that Beast Mode showed against the Hipsters. They let go of Game 1, they fought back and almost blew Game 2, but they prevailed. They have a lot of offense. Their defenses look better. I'm not sure I love this strategy of going 4 outfielders for every single hitter. But, you know, it's something that Eichenbauer really likes to do, and it looks like their team's behind that. Ralph Hannon had a good Game 2. I think he had a good Game 1. You know, they made a couple of errors. That game should have been over. A couple of balls that I think Sammy Esses would want to have back. Interesting. If Stephen Gindy's not there, you know, Black Sox did rebound. They finally got a win. They're a team that's going to be taking it all as momentum. I wanted to say split, but if Stephen Gindy doesn't play, I think that it's a great opportunity for the Black Sox to get back to 500 after an 0-3 start.
And then matchup number 4, we got Moshiach versus Brew Crew. Brew Crew, who everyone knew was going to be a great team going into the season. They're continuing to play well. Led by Dano with Gabe Abadi, Erwin Cohen, who's made gold glove type of plays in the outfield last week. Leo Caston's doing his job on the mound. I mean, I don't know. I think, but the Moshiach has really been a surprising team to me. I predicted them to go to win 2 games the entire year. And they played great versus, even though they got swept, they played great versus Shake and Bake last week. Long extra inning game, very competitive. I predict a split on that, even split. Let's see, week 3, over and out, El Dongo, Antby.
And then we got Moshiach and the Brew Crew. The Brew Crew, my favorite team going into the year. Made me look smart this past week with a nice sweep. Moshiach got off to a great start in week 1 and you know, fell a little flat in week 2. 2 tough games against Shake and Bake, which is a really good team. I think they're one of the top 4 or 5 teams in the league. They're not going to be fighting for a playoff spot, and that means they got to get a split this week at least. You know, you don't want to go start 2-0 and then be 2-4. But they're playing a great team. But I do think that Maurice Haber rallies the troops in either Game 1 or Game 2, and they somehow squeak out a split against a really tough Brew Crew team that has the ability to sweep every week.
Week 3 predictions. Congratulations to everybody. We got over the hump of week 2. That was just endless. The same predictions over and over again, the same matchups. Finally this week, teams got to scout other teams. They got to have different storylines that we saw this past Sunday. And by all accounts, weather's going to be good. BH this upcoming Sunday as well. 8:30 start. How will that affect some of the teams? We will find out. Let's do the predictions. Shake and Bake versus the Hipsters. 2 of my favorite teams in the league this year. I know Max Sutton said he feels all the teams are bunched up. I do not agree with that. I feel the teams are actually, there's a better class and a worse class. These are 2 of the upper class teams. However, I think Shake and Bake is the cream of the crop this year. I'm going Shake and Bake to sweep. Naby is on fire. If he can continue pitching like that, bottoms of lineups are going to struggle. Even tops of lineups are going to struggle. Even Farka, Ali, AJ Cohen. These guys are going to struggle. There's no Edmund Dweck. That's a huge bat, and he's a huge fastball bat also. He likes a fast pitch, Edmund. He's not there this week, so they're a little short-handed. I think Shake and Bake continues the role that they're on. They know they're losing AB soon. They have to rack up as many wins as they can. I'm going shake and bake to sweep. Next game, Biblical versus the Portland Pickles. We all saw the interview from this morning. MC is back in center field, where obviously he should be. I've not received one thank you from the ungrateful or ingrateful Mo Money contingency that I saved their season last year. Sometimes the truth takes a longer time to come out, like in this case. Instead of everyone running instantly for instant reaction, sometimes it takes a year to see what would have unfolded and what would have happened. There's no doubt in my mind MC wanted to pitch last year. It would have been a disaster like it was this year on the Portland Pickles. You want to go pitch, work on your craft on the night league, work on your craft in the Tahina leagues. Don't show up YMSL and think you could pitch when you're a center fielder. So I love what they did, removing him from the mound. Yaakov Soroya, I didn't see much speed, but I did see strikes. I like his attitude. I like that he's so passionate about softball. I love the way he shows up. He's serious. He's there in uniform from 3 hours before watching other games. I'm a big Yaakov Soroya fan. That's why I was so excited when he finally joined the league. I saw Barsano this week. We were talking about the game. He never once mentioned what Max Sutton revealed to us, that MC wasn't covering first when he made that misplay. That means he's a good person. He didn't throw his teammate under the bus. He didn't reveal anything. That's a good move by Barsano. I have a lot of respect for this team now that they made this move and they announced it. I think the whole league is against them, so they could rally around that. I'm going with them to take a game against Biblical. I'm worried about Biblical. You can't take half your games off, like I said in the morning. You can't show up 50% of the time and expect to win every time you show up. You're going to lose sometimes when you show up. I'm worried about that team. I don't like their offense, but if they're ever going to wake up, it's against Yaakov Soroya lobbing the ball right over for you. I'm going with a split, Biblical and Portland at Memorial 1. Memorial 2, Chicago versus Beast Mode. I was going into this report with a Beast Mode sweep. I love the way they looked. I love their offense. Uri Adler rocking the ball. Stephen Gindy looked like the Stephen Gindy that we all remember and know. They were just clicking on all cylinders. Jake Yogi Cassin batting 7th in the lineup. Al Sid hitting bombs. Love what they looked like defensively. Double play after double play. However, Stephen Gindy is out this week. So I don't know if it's a serious injury or not a serious injury, but he's not playing this Sunday. That's a huge break for Chicago. I'm going with a split. I always believe shorthanded teams could somehow rally. Adler goes to shortstop. I don't know if he has enough range to play shortstop, but let him field the balls that come straight to him. Let him throw it to first or throw it to second. Just make the normal plays, and Beast Mode will rally around and get a win. Only thing is mentally, if they can't get over the fact that Steven's not there, they'll get swept. But if they could say, Adler's at short, he'll make the plays, everything else figures itself out, the outfield's fine, you still have Mavora's bat, you still have everything you need over there, Separati's bat, everything is still there except for one piece. I think they could get out of this week with a split, recoup, see what happens the following week. Finally, Moshiach versus Brew Crew. I'm going with a Moshiach sweep. Brew Crew looked terrible against the Pickles. Butchie Cohen, Ralph Cohen, these guys have to start making plays. I don't know them before this year. Did not like what I saw. They only put up the 5 runs, even though MC and Yaakov were walking so many people. They didn't put up enough runs. I'm concerned about them. I love them. I love the guys on the team. Abe Haber doesn't look like he's done anything yet so far. DK hopping around in the box like a clown. I don't know what that is, but they got to get their act together. I am going with Moshiach to sweep Brew Crew. So to recap, Shake and Bake to sweep the Hipsters. Moshiach to beat the Brew Crew. Those are my 4 favorite teams in the league through 2 weeks, but they're playing each other, and I'm going with 2 sweeps. Chicago and Beast Mode to split because Beast Mode is shorthanded. Biblical and Portland to split because I'm not ready to send Portland off to Portland where they belong. I think they're going to hang around a little bit with this new alignment. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. 8:30 start. I will see you Sunday morning on another gorgeous day. Please Hashem. YMSL powered by DSN. Thank you.